Hello there. I'm Joe Ruggiero, and welcome to my podcast, Inspired, and the people who inspire me. Interesting story coming up. Kellie Martin. She started out wanting to be an actress as a young child. Now let's hear a little bit about how she got there and how she became a big actress as she then retired to the farm. So we're going to find out all about that. Kellie, welcome.
Hi, how are you, Joe?
Great.
Good.
To see you.
Nice to see
Now,
you.
tell the story about your mom's sister.
Yes. I think this is an original story. Nobody else has this story of becoming an actor. It is my own completely. So my mom's sister was a nanny for Michael Landon's kids. And I became friends with his daughter, Shauna. And I was 7 at the time, and Shauna was probably like 8 or 9. And I was obsessed with Little House on the Prairie. I watched it every day. So I loved Pa Ingalls. And I said to Shauna one day, I said, I want to be on your dad's show. And she said, okay. So my Aunt Rhonda, my mom's sister, kind of made it happen. She got me an interview with Michael Landon, and it was actually when it was the old MGM studio, the Lions out front. My mom and I went to Michael Landon's office, and we were sitting there in the waiting room to meet Michael. And I remember Melissa Gilbert strolled through. And imagine, my 7-year-old eyes just bugged out of my head. I couldn't believe it. And the one thing I remember is Melissa Gilbert smiling at me and saying, "Hey, do you want a Sprite?" And I was like, "No." So I met Melissa Gilbert right before I went in to meet with Michael Landon. And it was just an interview. It was just let's sit down and have a chat. And then I don't know if it was a couple weeks later, but after that, Michael sent me a script and offered me a part on his show called Father Murphy. Because unbeknownst to me, Little House was no longer filming. I was watching reruns. I did not know this. So I said, no, I don't want to be on Father Murphy. I would like to be on Little House. And my mom convinced me to, take a shot, go on Father Murphy, see what I thought. And I think we thought it was just going to be just a random fun thing. Not that I'd continue with it, but I had a natural aptitude for it. I loved it. I memorized everyone's lines, not only my own. I just had a great time, and Michael Landon's office helped me get an agent, my first agent. And then I was just one of those super precocious kids who believed that everyone wanted me to have the part.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a lot of parts. I'd walk in, I remember on some commercials, I'd walk in and I'd be like, "I love this cereal and I'm gonna do this commercial." And they're like, "All right," I just was that kid, I just had a great time. And the other thing about child actors actually, so you have to be precocious, A. B, you have to be a pleaser. Which are two things that don't often go together, actually.
Well, Shirley Temple, she was a pleaser, right?
So precocious, such a pleaser, yes. Those are two things that you really need to have. And I loved to do a good job. I liked people to be happy with me. But also at the same time, I was precocious, so I was smart and bright and ready to go. But that's how I got started. And I just kind of kept doing it because my mom was able to make it happen.
Well, how did you handle school?
So I would get my work from school, and then you have to be schooled on the set, minimum of 3 hours a day. So I would bring my work with me, and it was pretty easy because I would come and go from school. And I was just that kid, my extracurricular activity was acting, just like somebody else's was soccer.
Yeah.
So after school, I would go on auditions, and if I got a job, I would just get my work. I'd go film the quick, guest spot or commercial, and then I'd just go back to school and be a regular kid. And it wasn't until I was in high school and I got a series where I was going to be on it every single day for, most of the year that it became kind of an issue, that school became complicated.
And what was that series?
Life Goes On. It was in 1989. It was it was a family drama on ABC about a family with a child with Down syndrome. And I played his sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, your mom really could not be called a stage mom, but she supported you. And did you have other siblings?
I had a sister, yes. So my sister actually passed away many years ago from lupus, but she lived to be 19. So I had a sister all through my growing up. And she wasn't interested in acting at all. She actually ended up spending a lot of time with my grandmother because my mom was on set with me. So she was home. We grew up in Thousand Oaks. And yeah, she had a totally normal childhood. And then, she'd get to do some of the fun things that my job, like the fun perks that my job provided.
Right.
She'd get to kind of go along with that. But she wasn't an actor at all. She didn't have any aspiration to be.
Well, good for her that she supported this love that you had.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, I don't think a child can be an actor and fully work and have that kind of life unless the whole family supports.
Yeah.
It really is a kind of all-encompassing thing. And I know a lot of child actors end up moving to Los Angeles from wherever their family is.
Right.
And that can be a real hardship because maybe just the mom and the child actor move and they leave the rest of the family behind at home. I was fortunate in that I lived near Los Angeles, so
Right.
I was able to go home every night and just be a kid.
Now, you also had a run with Hallmark
Oh, yes.
because there was a woman at the residence who recognized you. She's addicted to Hallmark films.
All the grandmothers love me. Yes, it's one of those weird, rare occurrences that I actually worked with Hallmark from, I think it was 2004 until COVID hit. Until, 2020?
Yeah.
I worked pretty consistently with Hallmark. It was almost like, the old studio system. They just gave me lots of jobs, and I was able to work with Hallmark through both of my pregnancies and having babies. And
Wow.
that's hard to do actually because I worked on a series for Hallmark until I was 8 months pregnant.
Wow.
And they were able to just, they were supportive and we hid my pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. And then after I had my second baby, my baby was 6 months old and I went and did another Hallmark series up in Vancouver. So yeah, Hallmark was very good to me. My favorite shows to do for Hallmark were the mysteries because they were slightly
yes.
edgier than the Christmas and the rom-coms.
Right.
They had a little more bite to them. So I preferred those, and I was a huge Nancy Drew fan growing up. So
yeah.
I loved those Hallmark mysteries.
Hardy Boys was
yeah.
my thing.
Yeah, totally. I loved those mysteries. So I like the kind of slightly edgier, cozy mysteries, I would say.
And did you do anything after Hallmark?
Yes, I did. So after, I've kind of semi-retired, but I did a Lifetime movie about the Amish in 23, I think. And then I'm actually just about to do a little independent movie in November. So I work sometimes.
Do you miss it?
I
Because
do.
you've retired.
I mean, no actor ever retires. You know what I mean? If something interesting comes up, I'm happy to entertain it. I'm just not auditioning actively because I gotta tell you, that's my least favorite part of the job is auditioning. I'm like, I don't want to hustle anymore. I've been doing this for 40 years. Can we please stop the hustle? I don't want to do that. I don't want to go in and hope they like me. If someone likes me and offers me a part, great. Or if I have a friend, so many of my friends are people who are writers or directors or whatever. If I have a friend who's like, hey, Kelly, come do this part with me, I'm like, totally. The Amish movie I did was a writer friend of mine who asked me to do it. And of course I'd be interested in that. It's just that I don't want to constantly be putting myself out there and constantly be trying to be relevant or have a social media presence. So I have a certain number of followers because that's something they look at now.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't want to share that part of my life. I like being private. I like not having my kids feel like they have to grow up in the spotlight in any way. So I just am unwilling to do that part of the job anymore. Also, I don't want to put a bunch of filler in my face. And I'm 49, and
You're
that
a baby.
I'm not in the world of actresses. I am not a baby. So I just, that kind of part of it, I just am not really interested in.
Well, you know the story with Angela Lansbury. They wanted her to try out for MAME, and she didn't want to do it. And Jerry Herman, I guess, got her aside, and they cooked up this idea.
Yeah.
And that's how she got the role. But it was offered to Rosalind Russell first, and she had just, I've done MAME, I've been anti-MAME in the film, on stage.
Right.
And she wasn't ready for the musical, but
Right.
the rest is history.
I mean, I think that there are those times when you want to fight for a role, absolutely, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna turn myself inside out to just make sure I get this job. I don't have that fire anymore. I have a 9-year-old. My older daughter just started college. My interest is has just moved on to other things, I think.
Are they interested?
No.
Oh.
Nor would I let them do it.
Now.
I'm not going to take them to set every day. My mom did it for me, but it's a full-time job, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
So, no, I don't want them to do it. Also, I think, you kind of do retire after 40 years of doing a gig, After 40 years of working on something, often people retire, they move on. I mean, I just have so many other interests that I kind of want to just explore other things. But like I said, if something cool comes along, I'm not opposed to it.
Tell me about your farm life.
My farm life. So I married a man from Montana. We met in college, and I think he could ride a horse before he could walk. So he is just, he comes from a ranching family, and I think the thing I loved so much about him is how he is with animals. He's just got this kind of just this way with them. And
A whisperer.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a healer, and he just understands them. 'Cause he grew up in Montana, and animals are all around, and they're just a part of your life every day. So, when we thought we might move, I really advocated for us to move to a place where we could have animals, horses and things like that, because he really is this incredible horseman. And unexpectedly, the house that we found came with 2 pigs, 2 goats, a sheep, and a tortoise.
Wow.
And the people who were selling the house put the animals in the contract. And I was like, I guess I better learn how to take care of animals if I want to. But truly, when I met the pig, Hamlet and Frank, who lived at the barn, I was like, I hadn't even seen the house yet. I said, I want to live with Hamlet and Frank. I want to learn how to do this. So it's kind of just grown from there. I now have 11 goats, and
Oh, boy.
as of yesterday, 5 chickens. I lost one yesterday. I had a raccoon, I think. 1 horse, 4 sheep, the tortoise, who will actually probably move on with the next family because he's only 25.
And how long will they live?
I think they live 120 years,
that's
upwards
what
of
I
100
thought.
years, and he's not that old. By the way, he's my least favorite animal. He came with the house. He's not one I would choose to have. He's a grumpy guy. And 2 pigs. I think that's all I have.
Now, are you slopping them and
Oh,
feeding
yeah.
them?
I do all of it.
You do?
I clean out the stalls. I've got my
my
overalls
goodness
and my,
gracious.
my gloves on every day, and I'm in there taking care of them. And I think really, and my kids help me too. And of course, my husband helps me. But I think part of what I've realized is there's no better way to raise a child than around an animal. These animals have taught my children empathy, compassion, patience, all those things that you want your children to learn, but those animals just teach them without even trying, just by being themselves.
Isn't that wonderful?
It really is. And my older daughter is this kind, like, she's just like my husband. She's an animal whisperer. She's just incredible with animals. And she thought about becoming a vet. She may still do that. She would be so wonderful at it. But my little one, I joke, like, she's kind of a sociopath. I'm like, she came out of the womb just like tough as nails, just a difficult kid, you know? And over COVID, when we had all the lockdowns, we still had our barn and all of our animals. So she would spend 6 hours a day down with the animals. And I credit my goats especially with transforming my little one to becoming a kind of calm, patient, more like compassionate person.
Yeah, goats have an interesting personality, don't they?
They have so much personality. The goats are just, they're full of personality. And sheep can be full of personality, but you really have to hand raise them. So we had 2 mamas who we got in February of this year, and we got them knowing they were pregnant, so they would lamb at our house. So once the lambs arrived, I just held those lambs, I petted those lambs, I spent so much time with those lambs. So those lambs come running to me every day. The mamas are pretty, like off, they're like not really affectionate, but the babies can't get enough of me.
Wow.
So if you really hand raise, I feel like pretty much any animal, you're going to have a pretty affectionate animal.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my daily thing now is this, taking care of my 9-year-old. My other daughter's off at college, and I've got my little farm, and it's really fun.
Well, most actors that I speak to, they like the idea of assuming these personas. And you, at a very young age, knew that's what you wanted to do.
Yes, I think, the idea for me was that I truly just wanted to be on Little House. I think that seed of it truly was just that thing. And that I wanted to be on television. Not that I wanted to be an actor. And to this day, I don't have any desire to do like a mammoth play on stage in New York. No desire, none. Also, like a friend of mine just directed the Fantastic Four, and it took like 5 years to prep for that. And the filming, like they'd shoot like 1/8 of a page a day or something like that. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I like the pace of television. I like, that we shoot 5 scenes a day. I love being in the trenches with the crew, with my fellow actors. I'm kind of like, it's almost like I'm a laborer. I like in that way. Like I like being a worker bee.
Yeah.
But I'm not that esoteric, like my craft is this.
Right.
I don't think about it that way.
There are actors who feel that way.
Totally.
Yes.
And some of them are amazing actors. That's just not me. I'm more of like a hammer and nails kind of actor. Like, let's get in there and do it. I don't want to talk about the scene too much. Like, let's just go do the scene. I don't want to talk about my motivation and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not me. I actually worked on Life Goes On with an actor named Chad Lowe.
Oh, I know him.
Who's a wonderful actor. And he's one of my dearest friends. He and I are like the opposite. Like when we did Life Goes On together, he'd want to talk about the scene and I'd just be like, oh, you're killing me. Like, can we just say the lines and do the scene and then move on? But that's the kind of actor he was, and I had to force myself to kind of like, when you're working one-on-one with somebody, you obviously have to come to the table and adapt to the way they work as well.
Right.
So I can do it, for sure. But if I had my druthers, it would be like, let's just get in there and do the scene and then move on.
Well, what's in the future? Do you want to write or do you want to direct?
I have written. I really like writing, actually. I like producing. I've produced a bunch of stuff. I thought I would become a director for sure. I don't like to direct. And I have no idea why. And I'm not very good at it.
I would seem to think you would be.
I'm not.
Because you directed your life.
I know, but I'm not a director. I think I don't like telling everybody what to do. And truly, as the director, you're the leader.
Yeah.
You are the leader. I don't like to. Like I said, I don't want to be the leader. I want to be a worker bee. That makes me much happier. Although as a writer, like, you can craft something all by yourself, and I know I'm not a television writer, though, because, the network will give their notes, the studio will give their notes, and I would not like that. I'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to do it that way.
Right.
That's not how I envisioned it. So, right. You know what I mean? Like, so I know I'm not a writer. I've actually written novels before. Oh. And so I love to write. I'm also an avid reader. I'm a historical fiction nut. The first novel I co-authored was about madams in turn of the century New Orleans, in the red light district, and I'm now in my obsession with Henry VIII. So I love history and I love that part of it. So I really think that I'll probably write things that really very few people want to read. It's just historical fiction fans. Yeah. But yeah, directing is not something that I've tried it a couple times. I've directed 3 things, and I did not enjoy it. Mm-hmm.
But producing.
I do like producing.
Yeah, because you can select what you want.
Exactly. Select the director. I love casting. I do like putting things together, for sure. But like I said, being on set, actively telling everybody what to do and making literally a gazillion decisions a day is not something I want to do.
Huh.
So.
But your mother, she was very instrumental in your taking that career.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no way I could do it without my mom. My mom was a preschool teacher when I started acting, and she'd planned to continue that. But I started working so much that it would constantly take her away from her job, and I don't think she ever even thought that she'd have someone else go with me to set, which happens a lot, by the way. A lot of child actors end up having guardians, or they get I worked with actors who will remain nameless, child actors who were brought to set, and their moms would sign their guardianship over to an electrician, some random electrician dude, to watch their kid all day. And my mom would always be the one saying, no, I'll be their guardian for the day. Please sign them over to me. But my mom was always with me, which is why I survived being a child actor and was able to come out on the other side and still be a whole person. So many child actors just, television, show business is not a world for children. It just isn't.
I know.
It's an adult world. And unless you have someone very, really standing right by your side and hovering over you and making sure that you are protected and that you are taken off set when things are, not appropriate for you to be on set for, the language you hear on a set, I heard lots of curse words when I was little, and it made me very uncomfortable. I was, when I was 13, when you start to become a teenager, all the roles are about, your first kiss and this and that, and, I was not ready for that. I did not like that. So you really have to have someone who really loves you to help you navigate that.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise you fall prey to too many things. And I had men asking me to go to lunch. There was a director on Life Goes On who constantly asked me to go to lunch, and my mom's like, we'd love to go to lunch.
Right, exactly.
He's like, no, I just mean Kellie. And she's like, no, I'm not going to just take Kellie to lunch. I will go too. So, even wardrobe calls, you have to have, if you're a kid, you have to have your parent there or someone who really loves you, just making sure everything's okay.
Now, what would your advice be to those people that have stars in their eyes, want to be an actor or actress or child star? What best advice could you give them?
Well, I would say if you live in Los Angeles and it's possible to do it without breaking up a family, then you absolutely need to get yourself an acting class. Make sure you find your people and make sure that whoever your agent is or your manager is, that they're good people. I would say that you always have to go to school. A lot of kids I knew in high school just got their GED and they didn't even go to high school. And most of them did not go to college. So what I would say is absolutely figure out what your dream is. And if your dream is to be an actor, do school plays.
Yes.
Do everything you possibly can. I mean, gosh, there's so many ways to make content these days. Have a
Right.
YouTube channel, whatever it is.
Right.
Do all of that. And then maybe when you're an adult or after college or in college, do even more of it. And then go, I don't know. I just think it's dangerous. It's often just really dangerous as a kid. So I would say get your education, be a kid, and then do it later. That's what I think people should do. I went to acting. I was in an acting class with Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Jake Gyllenhaal was in the class too. And their parents were both in the industry,
Right.
and they never allowed Jake or Maggie to do anything professionally. They were in acting class every week, all throughout their teenage years. But they weren't allowed to act professionally until I believe they got through college or until they were over 18. I don't remember what it was. And I think that was really good advice, but that came from people who knew,
Who were in the industry.
the parents knew. So that's what I would recommend. For sure, like don't not do it,
Right.
but do it in a way that, because what if you change your mind? I mean, when I got to college, I was like, oh, I don't want to be an actor anymore. I want to be an art historian,
But
you know?
had stuff to go.
Yeah, like I feel like when I got to college, there were so many things. I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the things that you could do.
Did you act in college?
No, I did. I mean, on my breaks, like I did one play in college and I did not like it. I love watching plays, but I am not great in plays. I shouldn't say, I did act throughout college. I did television movies and I did ER. I became a series regular in ER between my junior and senior year, so I had to delay my senior year. So yes, I did act through college, but I graduated from college. It's my single greatest accomplishment. It was so hard fought.
What was your major?
I was an art history major, and I went to Yale. That's where I met my husband and some of my dearest friends, the people I admire most, just really interesting people. And I feel like I really became me in college. And I'm so grateful that I figured it out because it was not easy. I delayed going for a year and a half. I delayed going for a year and a half. And then I left at various times once I was there, but I always went back. I mean, even I had to reapply after I did ER, so I had to like go through the whole application process again in order to finish my senior year.
Yikes.
I know, but I did it.
Well, in college and in high school, I did the sets, I did the costumes, I acted in the shows, I sang in the shows. And when it came time to graduate from college, my father sat me down and said, no theater.
Oh, wow.
No, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And I went for my graduate at the Annenberg School of Communications. And he thought that that was all right because, you were studying communications.
Right.
But then I met my wife at CBS. We both worked at CBS.
Really?
And I had a thunderbolt. This
Yeah.
is the woman I want to marry. Bam.
What did she do at CBS?
She worked for the chairman of the board,
Oh, gotcha.
Bill Paley.
Gotcha.
But she looked up my dossier when I asked her out. And she knew all about me, including college boards and scores and whatever.
Wow,
So
she did her homework.
Yeah. So when I asked her to marry me, she said yes. I said, well, aren't you going to think it over? She said, no. If I have to think it over, Buster, then you're not right for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's her personality.
I mean, I don't think there's ever a downside to getting an education.
No.
I'm actually, I don't mean to bring up politics, but I am unlike the kind of like this idea these days that there's no role for college in people's lives.
Right.
I mean, maybe you go to college and study English and maybe you don't become an English professor. That's a hard, that's not like a practical major. But it makes you a person. It allows you to think and be. And for 4 years, you're just doing you're doing things that you would never do in life.
That's right.
And so getting an education is never a bad thing. And if you have the opportunity to go away to a 4-year college, like, or to figure out how to go to community college and then go to the college you want to go to or whatever, like, what an amazing opportunity that is to just learn,
right?
To be
Exactly.
curious.
And a lot of it is basically social.
Yes.
You know, that you're learning to be on your own, you're making your own decisions,
Yep.
and you're meeting new people.
Yeah, people that you would never normally meet. I mean, my first week at Yale, I met people like on my floor that I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to talk to this person. You know, like my roommates, one of them was a virtuoso violinist, and she was studying, like she was obsessed with ancient Greece.
Interesting.
And then my other roommate was an opera singer, and she was like a psychology major. Like I just met the most interesting people. And that's just going to happen no matter what college you go to.
Right.
I mean, Yale, there are a bunch of freaks there,
Right.
in the most wonderful way,
Right.
usually. But like my daughter's going to college right now, and I mean, her first week, she just met some incredible people, and she's just like floating on air because it's just this amazing opportunity. And especially young actors, like I'm always just like, please go to college. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be an Ivy League school.
Absolutely.
Just go expand your mind and be curious, because it will make you a better actor once you've lived a life. You know the actress Patti LuPone?
Yes.
She played my mom on Life Goes On. She's one of my dearest friends. And she said to me when I was a teenager, she said, you can't be an interesting actor unless you go live a life, have experiences, and travel and do all those things. Then you can be an interesting actor.
Well, I was told by Sister Parrish, who's one of our legendary designers, that you have to educate your eye. That you can go to design school, you can learn everything about design, but until you travel the world and you educate your eye, you will not be a good designer.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's true.
It's so true.
Travel
I mean,
is so important.
it takes you out of your element and it gives you a new perspective on everything, and it inspires you and gives you like, I mean, whenever I go to like Paris or anything, I'm like dizzy with giddiness
Yeah.
about the things I'm looking at. And
Architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Music. Food.
the idea that there are all these people who came before us and did all these incredible things.
Right.
It really really is important. And so that's what I try to teach my children, is like, just travel.
Do you think you'll ever move back to Montana?
No. I would never move to Montana full time. I love Montana dearly. It is a incredibly special place. It has opened my eyes. It's actually very exotic in a weird way. Like, I mean, it's such a wild place. It really, really is. And I love my family there, and I get to do incredible things there. But it is not me. It's not who I am. And weirdly, like, it's so much of my husband, but we're kind of black sheep. We're both like the black sheep in our family. And I feel like we'd never live there. I mean, if he runs for office or something, we could live there.
Or do you think he may?
I would love for him to. But anyway.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's another discussion. But I don't see myself living in Montana. I see myself living in France. I see myself living in England, Ireland, Scotland, all those places. New England. But weirdly, I'm a California girl. I'm a Southern California girl at heart. I'm most
you were
comfortable
born here.
I was born here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other advice? The program is called Inspired.
Yeah.
What inspires you?
Oh my gosh. How much time do you have? I'm inspired by people who love what they do. Even if it is working at McDonald's at the cash register. If there is someone there who's like, I kill this job, like I nail this job. I love this. I love talking to people. I love people who think their job and what they do with their day is fantastic. Like the guy who just sheared our sheep. He loves shearing sheep.
Yes.
And he was telling me about how he approaches it and how he wants to make sure they're at ease and they're like he's so gentle with them and that he does it fast. And so, like I love that. I had such a great conversation with that guy because he approaches his work with such care and consideration. And that really inspires me. I get so inspired when I meet people like that.
I have a French son-in-law, and my daughter has moved to France.
Oh.
And they work to retire. They don't necessarily love what they do.
Right.
But he went to Stanford, and he loved California, only because he could do what he loved to do. And then he just got tired of it. And as most Frenchmen, they like to retire.
They do.
And it was just a wonderful experience that they're having in this beachside community.
Where are they?
They're about 6 hours northwest of France, of Paris.
How amazing.
Yeah, and my daughter, or my granddaughter, goes to university in Florence, Italy. And she's studying fashion marketing.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean,
she loves it.
I love how angry French people are about Macron moving the retirement age up, to be older. I love how that makes them so mad because they love their joie de vivre. They love life. They want to live their life. And that should be such a lesson to all of us Americans who are such gunners and who are stressing, just constantly stressed out and pounding coffee.
But we do love what we do.
We do. We do. I mean, a lot of us, for the most part, love what we do. And those who don't, I hope for them that they can find what they love to do.
I keep telling my producer that this show should be called Journey because people, our listeners, are fascinated by how people got to where they are today, most successful in what they're doing. And, I like to tell my kids that it's like tacking in a sailboat. You don't get directly to your destination. You have to go left, you have to go right.
You do.
Until you get there.
Absolutely. I know. And all of this experience makes you who you are and gives you the wisdom that you have. And I mean, it's interesting at when I was being paid the highest of my career, like when I was, I guess, at my peak as an actor, quote unquote, because I was getting the highest paycheck, I was the most unhappy I had been in my life. And now that I'm making $0 as an actor.
But you're having fun.
But I'm having fun and I'm happy and I feel like content and calm.
Well, I think it's going to go on. I think that you don't even realize what surprises are within you.
No, totally. And I'm open to all of that. And my heart is open to all of that for sure. I just think I like to make my own weather now. And I feel like I always just kind of had to go with the flow and be a passenger on the roller coaster. And I'm not doing that anymore. So I feel like I like the idea that I can make my own choices and I can make my own decisions.
And your mom might become an actress.
You never know, Debs. My mom is here, by the way. She's listening, you guys.
Well, thank you so much, Kellie.
Thank you, Joe.
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And just a pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.